Hey Raid, this is Nazarek, and we got the man, the myth, the legend.
EODJinx, how y'all doing?
We're recording this for the second time because of difficulties completely within my control. Uh, I screwed
And
up and
I'm the one
deleted
doing
over
it.
it. I have to catch up in just a second here. So, I want to shout out to Hedgetron because it sounds like he's well on his way in conquest and making a trek to Gearbox or Loot Box 6, and we're cheering him on to see his make hopefully see him get all the way to max, because if he gets the max, that means we're going to start seeing like Relic 8 gears starting to fall into our guild, and that would be a good thing.
Well, we've already got a couple.
Got a couple. Could always
It's,
use more.
somebody, I can't remember, somebody wailed.
I know Riverboy was doing a lot of stuff because he brought some cam shards,
Something
and
popped.
then we had
It was a while
Hermione.
back. Goofy sent it in. And he was like, I wailed.
Well, we also have two members in our guild that got us some cam shards this week, and that was Riverboy, and that was also Hermione. So huge cheers to those guys. Thank you.
Congratulations, gentlemen or ladies, or whatever pronoun that you identify with. Um,
Um,
but in the
so
meantime, I'm quite pleased to see that we're starting this cam run.
yes,
Um, it's going to be a long one. I did the math. All if we get 30 per, we're still not looking for 10 months.
we're still working on watch
So
shards.
there's a lot of us that are going to be at 7 coming up. I
I'm
know I'm
8 shards away.
you
I'm,
must have been in the group
yeah, I.
last time. That was cussing.
Well, at least now I no
I
longer
think
have to take
I'm
off my socks and shoes to count how many shards I need anymore. We're that close.
listen, I need to count teeth, shoes, socks. We need to do this well, I'd say Alabama math, but that's one tooth. Uh, None, man. I lived down there for a while. I was a resident. I've been there. All right, so in the
Well,
B film here, we're about to watch you do some stuff with Yoda.
yeah. So, um, I'll try to catch it around. Earlier, it had the disk stack, so you might have to pan back a little bit. I can explain what was in the disk stack. But here, this is the loop because I got a couple of cooling systems and a couple heal over times and one offensive buff disk. So I've got 7 buffs per turn, plus 4 chances on each one of those buffs to get a cooldown. So I should reliably set the cooldown, especially with Yoda. And on here, it works beautifully. So Yoda does his jumping thing, and I've got a offensive stack on there as well. So he's getting stronger every time he leaps. And as you see, they just keep getting weaker and weaker. Now on this one, Droidica did kick off his protection, so I had to go and switch gears
It was the
quickly,
only one
but that didn't
fast enough
take
to
long.
catch you.
Yeah. And so at this point, I think everybody was at 100% stamina, except maybe one.
It was Basti and Hermit weren't, from
So
what
I
I
went and did
recall.
Heroes Rise, and I took off the last buff, and then finished off with jumping. Now here's where I kind of got confused on. So here's the boss of Sector 3, which is the Darth Knight,
Darth
Darth
Revan.
Revan. Yeah, I tried to do the jumping a couple of times, and it broke sequence, and then I'd have baddie Bastila come in and start wreaking havoc. So this time I actually went to more of a Street Fighter mentality and just doing it regularly, because you see that I tried to jump, and so I'm like, that didn't work the last couple of times. So I used Heroes Arise to get Luke up and running, so he slows everybody down. I thought, okay, well maybe I have control, but you'll see here, Yoda will get his chance after the revive. He'll jump, and you see the turn meter on Batty is getting big, so I jump again, and Batty comes out there and just nukes Yoda. So from there, I have to be more careful.
I'm thinking. I'm looking at this, and I know you're running the hard.
Yeah.
I'm thinking they got them either modded out of their brain, which is plausible.
Well, these are Relic 6.
Well, I mean, that's. Woo. I mean, I see a Relic 6 team like that, gas is coming out the gate.
And I got to take a look at the kits to make.
Have that nice shiny toy that is Jedi Knight Luke. But
the baby Jesus light that comes falling down upon him.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm stunned looking at that.
Yeah.
I think that and we've talked about this, you and I, but I think when you try to focus on Revan, you should have focused on Batty.
Maybe.
Got it.
Maybe. I got to take a look at the kits because to me it just doesn't make up, the math just doesn't add up to say what's breaking the sequence to get in between him and his leaps, but it happened a couple times. Yep, back to Alabama, one tooth. So that's something I'm working on. I'm about a third of the way through Sector 4. I'm not going through the feats very quickly, but I had a couple of really nice drops in the last few nodes that have really started stacking up and allowing me to do the loops. And now I'm getting to the point where I'm trying to decide what stacks I want to do anymore, which is a nice problem to have.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't suck.
Right. But I've ran into the steadfast retribution modifier so many times in this conquest. I know it's been at least 5 times, and that is basically trying to break down a brick wall with your forehead.
I mean, let's not talk about it.
Yeah.
But
well, and then I've seen the one that scares me as well is you got the murder bears, and then they've got over prepared at level
3 typically,
which they need all that much more speed, right? I mean, they're not fast enough as it is.
Because that's just what the developers do to just toy with you.
Only a sadomasochist would take this node, so we'll put steadfast retribution up here. So yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
But there's just no way I'm going to go against Murder Bears Relic 7 that way.
Yeah, or somebody's running an SLKR that's about the only thing I can think of.
So I'll let you know how I handle Sector 4. Just running into that stamina wall right now. So kind of resting up and seeing how that goes.
Now I want the Raider Nation to know I am very close on getting an emulator up and running. It's getting ugly.
Starting to pull your hair out? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I might actually have my own. What's that?
You're starting to pull your hair out? Is that what you're saying?
If I had hair, I'd give it a good yank. It might be one of those like I get it and I flip the chair.
Yeah, it's that M1 or M1 processor, right, on the
that M1
Mac there.
Yeah, the M1 chip is giving me a fits.
You said you had one emulator up and running, the one with the sideways. That's more of a dev tool, though, right?
It is a dev tool. I can't get the Google Play app to open
Okay.
and get the game. But I've had some promising moves forward in the last few hours. So
Nice.
we'll see what happens.
So, what else was there? So I've been
Ships.
having some ships, fleets. So I've been having some luck, and you saw on the B-roll there. I can go and hold on for a second here. I'm going to flip that back.
No, it's all good.
This should take us
You
right
can,
back to the beginning. So, and this is a squad that I'm running, going against the malevolence type of fleets I have been seeing in my shard, in my shard, because I've been running a negotiator squad. And after talking to the officers in our ship channel, our fleet channel, they gave me a lot of tips, and I can win 99 times out of 100 against malevolence, as you can see from there.
well, I mean, what's your boss get?
Bosk is at Relic 4, I believe. Relic 3 or Relic 4.
Okay. And I know your Falcon comes out during this.
Yes.
Han
So
and Chewie are obviously relict because you have Jedi Knight.
Yeah. So Anakin is Relic 7. Ahsoka is Relic 7. Plo.
What's PK?
PK, he's at Gear 12. Gear 11,
Okay,
actually, I
because we
think.
have to be careful. We have to be careful with PK.
Yeah.
We have to say PK because if we say the other thing, the actual name, YouTube comes and says no.
So we'll say PK.
So it's PK.
All right. Then I
What
have
about your sergeant?
Sergeant.
I'll put you on the spot.
I gotta take a look.
All right, so my whole Galactic Challenge or Galactic Republic, rather, is all relict. My lowest is PK and Clone Sergeant. They're both at 4. So I'm just running them as running them. And I run a full GR squad. I come out with 5s, Anakin and Rex. If you run on auto, it'll put all out Clone Sergeant and then the Y-Wing, which in retrospect is a smart move. But then you've got 3 tanks, and then you bring out Ahsoka and PK, and they help you clean up.
So
I've stayed in the top 20 or so without trying.
So Anakin's at 7. Ahsoka is at 7. PK is at Gear 11. Then I have Chewie and Han. They're both at 6, Relic 6. Then I have 5s.
Yeah.
I have 5s, and he's at Relic 4, and I believe my other. Just took him out.
Bosky.
Which is Rex, and I have him at Relic 5, but I only have the ship at Star 6.
Oh, that's a tough one to farm, though.
Yeah. That's complete shop
You got
farm.
to catch that in fleets.
Yep. And I'm 42 out of 100 on that one, so I've been, whenever I've seen it, I've tried to pull the trigger as much as I can.
Good luck.
Yeah, that's still going to be.
I remember that fight.
I'm not going to have that one anytime soon. But the trick with it is, so against the malevolence, officers have steered me the right way and got me on the right track, and I'm very, very competent on those types of fights. But my mirror matches are killing me because and I've just started looking at the kits, and you'll explain this better to me. But in order to get the negotiator to fire off your, let me see if I can get it here.
The AOE, the bombing run.
The bombing run, the Y-wing assault.
Yep.
That's got a higher cooldown, but I was seeing that the other negotiator was going like 2 or even 3 turns before me, and I was always running with the Houndstooth and my other two just the same as I was with my
A full
against
GL
them 11.
squad. Or
Yeah.
GR squad.
So
if your synergy is through the roof.
Right.
Because so with that synergy, it's not just with the ships on there. It's also with the capital ship. So you're taking out, you got Rexy, Fives, Annie, Snips, PK, Clone Sergeant. Should be the Y-Wing.
Yeah.
Okay. So that gives you 7 ships. All GR. That carries over and gives Kenobi's a lot more speed.
Because what it's doing
is what I go ahead.
Because what you want to do is fire off mobilize, right, from your capital ship, because that'll give Valor, and Valor ultimately takes down the turn meter of the ultimate, and that only triggers off of Galactic Republic, right?
Exactly.
So with me starting out with Houndstooth,
you want Anakin kind of in the lead, Fives and Rexy out there,
right?
And with you putting Houndstooth out there, that move doesn't happen.
Right. Okay. So if I want a tank out there, I probably have to go after the Y-Wing, throw that out there, so I can get my step up on my ultimate because of using mobilize.
Now, what you're forgetting though is that Fives is a tank, and that Enburren ship that he's got is a tank.
Okay.
And when you use the special on that, it doesn't just hit you like the target, it hits opposite.
Okay.
So it hits hard. Like it is a very hard hitting thing. Plus, when you've got Fives at 7, 2 Zetas, and you've got him offensed out of your mind, because that's the idea. You want Fives offensed. So when you're on the ground and 5 sacrifices, all that offense goes to everybody else. Does that make sense?
So Fives has a sack ability in his ship?
He doesn't in the ship. But the idea is that he's still got all those stats.
Right. Gotcha.
Because ships, we begged and begged as a community for no pilots. Well, what we've done is nerfed those no pilot ships.
Right.
Because say I've got PK, Clone Sergeant, Rex, Fives, Snips, and Anakin all at 7. And I've got them modded through the gills. Okay? What I end up with is a slow Y-Wing that I took the time to farm. Because I can't, after I have gotten it to 7 and I've put everything on it, I can't upgrade it anymore.
Right. get half the stats.
Exactly. And that goes for the TIE Bomber, both the Hyena and the Vulture Droid. Now, with the Hyena and the Vulture Droid, you get a bump if you use IG
2000.
No.
The ship
Yeah,
IG 2000. Yeah.
Yeah, the ship's IG 2000. And you focus that as the leader, it helps speed things up. And that makes that Malevolence team that much harder.
Yeah.
Because you're running 3 droids, and he has a leadership ability that carries over onto those droids.
Right.
And then you've got 3 Geonosians. So then you have 1 slot left. I typically throw Sith Bomber. The Sith Empire Bomber goes on that last one.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at. I'm starting to try to get my gears, or get my mind around having a strategy for mirror matches on there. So I'll start pinging you and pinging the officers on the channel, because I'm getting to the point where I run into these long sections in the shard of mirror matches, and even when my power is like 20,000, I'm still losing them handily. Sometimes I get lucky, but a lot of times it's just all of a sudden I'm seeing them do their Y-wing assault 2 turns before I'm able to, and at that point I'm hurting in a bad way.
There.
Yep. That's what happens when you've ignored your fleet too long, right?
As Cubs.
As Cubs.
I saw having. I mean, there's a reason why you guys came to me early and said, hey, you've got this 7-star Emperor shuttle. We still think your fleet can handle. And it does. Fleets matter. Keep that in mind, Raiders.
Fleets matter.
If we keep building the tunes, making our ships stronger, that top in GOTB is just
that much.
There.
Yeah, well, it's starting to get there, cam shards and all.
Oh, props to our 2 members that made it.
Yep, Riverboy and
proud of you guys.
Hermione, if I'm saying that correctly. If I'm not, give me a lecture later on.
Every time I look at it, I call it Hermione.
Yeah, I keep saying that. All I can see is a picture of the cat sticking its head up, so.
Fair play.
Well, give you a heads up. I'm going to be out of action on Thursday for about a week with very limited activity to anything. So, and that'll be from 25th to the 1st. And I'll put that on our channels here.
Understood. And I've got Junior. We'll go with. I start travel on Thursday. I return home Saturday-ish. And we'll have him for about a week or so, which means another 3 days of travel. But we'll do what we can.
Get your emulator running. All right. Well, with that being said, you've got...
Keep your powder dry, EODJinx.
Have a good weekend, Raid.